Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Fit4Lyfe Lifestyle Podcast. I am your host, Anthony Changes, and as per usual, I am joined by the beauty, the brain, and the beast behind Fit4Lyfe. What's going on, Coach? Coach Sandy?
Awesome. It is a wonderful, beautiful, amazing Tuesday here.
Tabata.
Right? Tabata Tuesday, South Florida. It was kind of some funky weather. I got rained on today when I was doing my outdoor workouts.
Ooh.
So, but I've been waiting for that. To happen because, we can't complain because up north or wherever they're dealing with like negative.
Yeah, it's bad.
Like real bad.
Real bad.
Yeah. So so bad you don't even want to go there.
Yeah.
But so a little rain here in South Florida is all good. Right?
I mean, I can deal with the rain. The rain's not the problem. It's things that I'm not prepared for, like snow, right? Hail, sleet. I don't even know the difference between those three, but I know I'm not ready for those.
Yeah.
So, speaking of the last week of February, we are in the National Eating Disorder Awareness Week, which we touched on last week, but it's also lining up with this New Year, New You challenge, and which is the topic for this week's conversation. So give the people a little taste as to what we've been suffering through for the last 7 weeks.
There is no suffering happening. It is all good. Maybe in the beginning, it might have felt like a little bit of suffering, but it's not. Every year, this is I think it's our third year, maybe fourth year doing this. Mm-hmm. And every year we always start like the second or third Monday. It just kind of lines up with a lot of the kids going back to school and kind of passing over that hump of the new year and like all that rush of like, all right, let's make all these New Year resolutions and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. Going over that just a little bit so that way you really have to dig deep to stay motivated to start 2 or 3 weeks after the new year. Right. So you've already started, you have this in your mind that you want to make some changes in your own personal life, whether that's physical, mental, spiritually, or whatever it is that you want to do. So this New Year, New You challenge, we do it used to be, or it was in the past, 6-week challenge. This year we did a 7-week challenge, and just the first week being like a prep week, mm-hmm. really giving everybody an idea of what to expect, kind of, understanding a little bit about macros, pulling out that calculator and like,
yes,
how do I calculate this? Everybody getting personalized macros, which was kind of cool. So everybody got their own macros, knowing exactly how much they're supposed to be eating, and just getting an idea of what to expect in the challenge, how to change their habits and setting some goals and things like that. So then it starts and we have 6 weeks of just fun. Right?
It has been fun. I will agree to that.
You're doing it. I can ask some questions.
The first thing that I want to say is I'm pretty sure that Sandy has passed every last one of her math classes because this poor lady has been doing math for the last 7 weeks. Like between getting everybody their macros and then calculating everybody's like entries based on the challenge itself, the way that was set up. So I applaud you because like me and math, like we're not the best of friends, but we get along.
Yeah, you're okay. Yeah, I think this year, one of the things that we also brought in was the whole like mini challenges and doing things to earn points and things like that. So that's more math stuff. Yeah. But I do love math. That was my favorite.
I knew it.
Still is my favorite. I mean, I'm not talking about like crazy math. None of that.
Oh, so not like the trigonometry we're doing for this challenge?
Not that. But basic math. But I do enjoy it. And I enjoy the fact of just pushing people to kind of just to do something different, to try something different, to commit to something. I would have to say this is probably our best year. So kudos to all you guys. Thumbs up, high fives, cheers. Solid. You guys have really kicked ass. We are finishing up week 6 of the actual challenge. Mm-hmm. And to see that people are still motivated and still, that is huge. I don't think people realize how huge that is because it is so easy to get past that first week. Right. I got this all day long. But when you roll into week 2, 3, 4, then it starts to kind of like dwindle because people get bored. Right. You get bored, you get unmotivated. Mm-hmm. It's hard to stay on track. But I really give a lot of credit to you guys as the challengers, keeping each other motivated. The macro counting, understanding that food is not the enemy. Right. Food is fuel, and it's based upon your workouts, your activity level, and things like that. So that's huge, understanding that not every single person is on this 1,200 calorie diet. Right. I mean, I can even say, like, for myself and my activity level, not someone that needs to lose weight, like, I'm eating a lot of food, way more than I can, like, consume sometimes. Because I'm like, holy shit, like, there's a lot of food.
I was actually shocked when you gave me my macros, and I looked at that calorie count. I was like, because I started Noom in October of last year. So I think I'll touch on that later, but I think that kind of helped springboard me into this challenge, with already logging my food and keeping track of what I've been eating. But I'm looking at these numbers and I'm like, I gotta eat double what I'm already eating. Like, how am I gonna find time and space to fit all of this? Granted, it's now like broccoli and spinach and kale and rice cakes versus like whatever the fuck I was eating before. You know what I mean? Like, I was eating a lot of crap before. But I like the biggest thing that I like about this challenge was that it tackled all three aspects of health and wellness. So yes, we have the physical with the working out, and we also have now the nutritional with the counting macros, but then we also have the mental health part with the community. So we all got to join in on this Facebook community or this Facebook group to hold each other accountable and share our challenges. And that's one of the things that I really liked, seeing people talk about, like, how in the world am I supposed to eat all these calories, or like, where can I get extra food to fit in with not going over my fat, but also reaching this amount of protein? Right. So it was cool to see people share their struggles in this process, and then also like dealing with the curveballs of like every week. It was like you added just a little bit more. Correct. And I'll touch on this later as well. But with incremental challenges, you decrease the amount of the chance that people will fail, because if you go into it right off the bat and say, okay, no fried food, no alcohol, no sugar, no this, no that, hell
no, bye-bye. Peace out. That was a great challenge. Keep my $30.
Right. You can have that. Hey, I gracefully bow out. Thanks for the opportunity. I got these macros. I'm gonna holler at y'all later.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. That's a good way of saying it. And I think that was also just one of those things that was kind of just planted in there to keep everybody motivated and different focus and stuff like that. And I know you said you were going to touch on that later, so I'll let you touch on that later. So you can talk more about that. But yeah, I mean, it was I'm really looking forward to seeing the final results. We were weighing in every 2 weeks. One thing that we encouraged, didn't make you, but we encouraged you guys to do was the pictures. That was huge, because it is so easy, like, to just look at the scale and be like, oh, I didn't lose a pound, and I'm so frustrated. But then when you look at those pictures side by side, it is like, wow, like my body composition is changing. Right. And that's the biggest thing. And it's hard for people to comprehend and understand that when you look at like a pound of fat and a pound of lean muscle, a pound is a pound regardless. But the way that it takes up space in your body is different. Completely different. So you have to keep your focus on that and understand that those changes are happening regardless of whether that scale is going up or down. Yes, the scale is a great way to keep track of your progress, but it's not the only way to keep track. Those non-scale victories are everything. Big. Everything. Especially when you can wrap up a day and know that you ate your macros, you did your workout, you tried to sleep the best you could, you drank your gallon of water, those types of things. Yeah. They're tough, they're hard, but you can go to bed feeling proud, knowing that, you know what, I did it, and I can do it again tomorrow. Yeah. I mean, even still, like, you wake up the next morning, you're like, I gotta do that all over again. Yeah, I gotta count.
I gotta count. I gotta fit this puzzle piece together. Like, no, but it was fun. I knew going into it that I was gonna be super competitive because I like to win, and who doesn't? But even not being at the top of the leaderboard, it doesn't hurt. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm not, because like you said, those non-scale victories almost speak more to your success than what the number on the scale is. And I'm proud of that. And like taking my shirt off to take a picture, that was a big step for me, but something that I had, again, like, everything happens in due time. So I feel like everything was happening exactly the way it was supposed to, because I created the Gut Muscle CEO account and got comfortable there taking, pictures with my shirt off every week for, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks before we had actually started the challenge. So when like finding out like, hey, you're gonna have to take your shirt off for these transformation pictures, it was like, when and when? Like, I'll do it right now. Like,
right? Let me do that right now. Let me show you. You know what? I'll be the example to everybody else.
Let's go. Hey, shirts off. Like,
Yeah.
sir, this is a Wendy's. Like, you can't do
Oh, gosh.
But, you know, it was good. So, you know, a lot of people make New Year's resolutions, and a lot of the time it's fitness and health related. And, you know, according to the study that I saw, it wasn't really a study, but it was an article that talked about it. The majority of these resolutions fail because a number of different reasons, you know, and I think it's interesting that you would create a New Year, New You challenge to start right after the new year, but then to also see people be successful with it.
Right.
So what would you say is different, or why this gym sees more success than like a typical big box gyms that typically lose a lot of members after the new year?
For sure. I give a lot of credit to the challenges that we throw out, the workouts, the constant changes of the workouts. And then these mini challenges, not just for the people that are in the challenge group doing the weight loss challenge, or the transformation challenge is really what it's called. But the people here at the gym too, just in general, adding in these weekend workouts that are going to really challenge you mentally, because at the end of the day, it's, you know, to work out is usually not the issue. You know, it's not the issue. It's tackling that mind that's telling you, that's playing tricks with you, that's telling you whether or not you should do something, or how you should do something, or has already predetermined how you're going to do something, you know? And so tackling that in these crazy workouts and these challenges is really what changes people and keeps them motivated to do more things and to continue coming back. Of course, you're always going to have some people that fall off, regardless. You're always going to have that. But it's our duty and our responsibility as a gym and as, you know, fitness people to keep everybody motivated in some sort of way. Also ourselves, you know, me working on my fitness, me working on my meals, me sharing my journey openly helps others, or at least I feel it does, helps others to be open with their own journey.
It definitely does.
You know, and also knowing that, sharing the struggles too at the same time, because sometimes people will walk in here and they see how I am, or they'll see how I work out, and you call me the beast. I like that. And see how I work out and be like, I can never do that. But reality is that everybody started in the same place at square one, doing that first step. And I started there too. I was never an athlete ever growing up. I was the last one picked for the team, always, you know. That's just how I grew up and where I came from. But I decided that I didn't want that. And if I can control anything, that I can be in control of my own personal fitness growth, my health, what I eat, and things like that. So having that and being able to motivate and show people that, listen, this is possible. You got to be consistent. You got to take on the challenges. And being here part of the gym, when you walk through that door, guess what? You're here to work out. Right. So now you are mine for the hour. So
ain't no backing out.
Regardless of whether or not you want to do that sprint, you're gonna do it, or you're gonna do something else. If you refuse to do it, you're gonna do burpees. You're gonna do something else that's not gonna be the easiest thing, you know. So I think
that's kind of like truth or dare. Like, oh, you don't want to answer the question? Like, here goes this absolute terrible dare that you have to.
Fine. Right. And you know, you don't show up, guess what? We are a small gym. We will find you.
Yeah. No. Hey. So let me speak to that, because like they definitely will come and find you, and I think like that helps keep people like coming to the gym, because you know it's not like a typical 24-hour gym that you can just come and go whenever you want and nobody pays attention to you. Yep. You have to sign up for a class, like you, and there's a limited amount of spots available.
So we know it's in alphabetical order. We know,
right? And if you don't cancel in time, you will find out. If you don't show up to class, they're gonna find out, and they're gonna come hunt you down. So I remember, like, I canceled. For those of you that don't know, it was a couple weeks ago. I canceled late at night, you know, and the next morning, like, I get a text message from Sandy at like 8:30, and class started at 8:15. She's like, "Hey, I didn't see you in the 8:15 class," and I was like, "Oh, like I canceled, right? Like I could have sworn I canceled last night." She's like, "No, you did, but I'm just used to seeing you here at 8:30." So I had a little mini heart attack, thinking I was in trouble for no call and no show.
You were in trouble for not early canceling. You were in trouble. Yeah. So those are the things that make it different, make it different than you're not just a number. You're going to have somebody checking up on you, and not just us as the coaches in the gym, but your peers too. People get used to seeing the same people in their classes. And if they don't see you, they may not have that connection with you outside of the gym, but they'll ask us and be like, hey, we're so-and-so, is so-and-so okay? And that's happened numerous times. And we'll, let them know the basics of, whatever the situation may be, not sharing any personal information or things like that. But, it's nice to see that. So there's always somebody checking up because they notice these things. Right.
There's definitely a community vibe here. Yeah. And I think that definitely helps keep people accountable.
Yeah.
So with regard to New Year's resolutions, the majority of them typically do fail. And the top 3 are to continue a diet, and 54% of those fail. The second one is committing to exercise more, and that fails 44% of the time. And the third one was the committing to lose weight, which fails 41% of the time.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's high.
Right. And I think that's why typical gyms see an influx of people at the beginning of the year,
right? And
then it typically falls off at, after the first month?
Yeah.
The majority of the people will stop going?
They say, I think it's the first month. I think it's the third.
So we made it, y'all. We made it.
Hallelujah.
We made
it. And we're still going.
Right.
And now we are going so good that I'm like, we may need to have like a post-challenge group. Post-challenge group.
Challenges and posts and groups. Oh,
and
my.
more macros and more
no. No more counting.
More counting. You got to count reps in class. You got to count reps when you go home to eat breakfast.
I'm counting stars after class.
Yeah. But I think they statistics have shown that it's like the third Monday in January, and not just because of the new year, but they say it's like a month post Christmas, and they call it like Black Monday. And there's actually a thing because I guess it's the blues or something like that, like Blues Monday blues or something like that. And it's because it's like the month past the Christmas high, the holiday high of December, and then things start to take place, like bills start to roll in.
Yeah, depression sets in like, damn,
yes.
I swiped that credit card
way
too many
times. So that starts to roll in. And then you have, on top of that, post New Year resolutions, and you may have now not done the best that you thought you were going to do when you started it on January 1st. So you have all that kind of rolling in, type of thing. So I think it's like the 21 days, somewhere around there, that people start to fall off. Like it's just a trend, it's just a trend. And I think that's why it's important to have goals and to set goals that are not just, I'm going to lose 2 pounds a week, or I'm going to lose 10 pounds in 1 week, because those are unrealistic at times. You really have to line yourself up with some realistic goals for you, and every single person's different. So for me to be like, I want to go out and run, a 6-minute or a 5K 6-minute pace per mile, that's unrealistic for me, even though I do run.
Me too. Don't feel bad.
Right? Even though I could probably push myself and I may just not make it to the end, but it's not realistic. So for me to do that and to set that kind of goal, and then for me to be bummed out when it doesn't happen, it's like, forget it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it anymore.
I think that's why the majority of the people fail with these New Year's resolutions. They ride that high like you were talking about, through Christmas, and they're like, it's going to be the best. 2021 is going to be my year.
Yes.
So you start coming off like, okay, what do I need to fix? I need to fix this, and this. Boom. I hit the ground running January 1st. Right. And
everything at once.
Yeah, everything at once.
Yeah.
And then you quickly reach that burnout phase, and you're like, man, forget all of that. Like, McDonald's is right up the street.
It is
I'm
so much
sit on my
easier
couch.
to just be like, yeah.
So that's what I was mentioning earlier about when you started this challenge, and you started, this first week, we had that prep week. So you kind of give everybody a list of what to swap things out for. These are a list of healthy proteins that you can eat, a list of healthy snacks, whatever the case may be. So we can go shopping.
Yes.
So we go shopping, we get all this stuff, and then we find out, okay, week 1, no fried food, and no alcohol. We're like, okay.
But it
right,
fits my macros.
Yeah, right, but exactly. But I just stocked my freezer and my fridge with 0-calorie beer and
right?
whatever the case may be. So now I can't have this alcohol. But these incremental changes, because had you given us that list of what to expect at the very beginning of the challenge, a lot of people would have been like, thanks, but no thanks.
Correct. It's scary. Those changes are scary. You know, when you tell somebody they can't do something, a lot of times they're like, no, I'll pass. That's reality of the situation. I mean, I don't like being told what to do, quite honestly, you know, which is why I do my own thing. and not to, you know, be like one of those people, but that's just how it is. Sometimes I like to do my own thing. Sometimes, many times I like to do my own thing in silence too. I like to challenge myself. I like to see what I'm capable of doing on my own, you know, without the spotlight. But sometimes you need that, you know, and I think everybody's at a different level of their own journey. And many times people need that spotlight on them. Somebody telling them, hey, you should not be drinking alcohol during this challenge, because there are things associated with alcohol that are also associated with binge eating and a lot of things like that.
Decision making.
So it's, right? And it's not just the fact that I'm like, I want to be the person that's telling you can't drink, you know, that drink or whatever. Because yes, as much as I want to see you do that, because I personally don't drink, and as much as I want to see you also doing that, I also know what's associated with that.
Right.
A lot of it's associated with binge eating, mental illness, things that you're battling, that you're dealing, and stuff like that. And the first thing you go to is alcohol or fast food or sugary foods or whatever your food is of choice, you know, whatever it is. So those types of things, and teaching people too, just to be mindful. Just be mindful of your actions, and kind of throwing it out there like, hey, no added sugar. And it's like, holy shit, what do you mean no added sugar?
Wait a minute.
This bread I just bought has 2 grams of added sugar. And you know what? You didn't know that before, because what you saw on the package was whole grain, whatever type of, you know, organic or, you know,
non-GMO.
Yes, exactly. So
gotta be healthy. Sold. Like,
and the things you look at, most people look at calories, fat. Carbs. Usually that's all they look at. You venture down into the added sugars, the ingredient list, things like that are the next steps of learning. It's a learning process.
There's a reason why they always put that in the smallest font possible.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
you gotta pull out that magnifying glass.
Like, but that logo, that non-GMO and that organic stuff is huge and bright.
Yellow, orange, blues, something that looks real nice. So not all food is created equally. And that's the biggest thing with macros and understanding macros, and not that, and I'm not one to just say like the macro diet is the only diet and everybody has to follow it, because you got to choose what works best for you. What works best for you. And Jason and I have gone through lots of different styles of eating: paleo, keto, vegan, vegetarian, if it fits your macros, just intermittent fasting, intuitive eating, you know, when you eat when you're hungry. Like, we've done all of it. So we've ventured and seen the different styles. But I find like the best thing for any person is mindful eating, and eating to fuel your body and your goals, because everybody is different.
That's what Noom focuses on. Noom focuses on mindful eating. Like, you know, okay, you can recognize that you're hungry.
Yeah.
But now, like, if you can recognize that you're hungry, you can also recognize what your options are.
Yes.
And which one is best for you at that moment.
Yes.
You know? And I think that we tend to get away from that because it's so easy in this society. You know, everything's built around convenience in this world, especially here in America. Like, every single corner you pass, there's some sort of fast food of some sort. And I think that also contributes to the failure rate. But what I think is a bigger catalyst for failure with these New Year's resolutions is the goal setting in general. You know, so like not being realistic and honest with yourself as far as what you are capable of. You know, so I knew, speaking from my own experience, that I knew I'm not going to be able to just jump in and compete at the same level as athletes. Correct. You know, like I got to take it easy. I got a lot more weight to move, so I can't, you know, springboard and jump and, you know, whatever.
You can't do that.
I mean, I can now, but like starting, like let's like stretch first before, you know, before you get into that. You know, so I think being honest with yourself as far as what you are capable of, what you want to see change, and then getting into a plan that speaks to those individual changes and compounds on one another sustainably, you know, as opposed to like let me just jump in here and change everything. You know, I'm going to go from eating Dunkin' Donuts every single morning, you know, bacon, egg, and cheese on a croissant with a large iced coffee, cream, and sugar.
That sounds good.
It's delicious. Don't get me wrong. Like it's,
that
but
real good.
You know, but going from eating that to like, and the very next day saying, okay, now I'm gonna have a kale smoothie. You know, like
which sounds boring as hell.
A deep breath.
Go back to Dunkin' Donuts.
Right, but like I'm setting myself up for failure if I try and springboard from one to the other.
Correct.
In less than 24 hours.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
And trying to go from being, you know, extra sedentary, like super comfortable on that couch, to now let me go run a 5K.
Yeah. Every day,
a 5K a day, you know, you're setting yourself up for failure. So I think, what do you think, moving from this New Year, New You challenge, how do we continue with this level of motivation?
Yeah. One thing is setting, you know, not resetting, but almost resetting to reevaluate your goals. You know, where were you at when we first started this challenge? Or if you're not in this challenge with us, where were you at the beginning of January, the second, third week of January, when you were setting your own personal goals, whatever that may be, whether it's fitness, health related, eating healthy, or whatever it is, and reevaluating and kind of see where you're at and seeing the changes that you've made over the past 4 to 6 weeks. What kind of changes have I made, and what kind of changes am I willing to keep? Right. Because that's the next step. Taking those changes and consistently changing it. Because at the end of the day, having this 6-week challenge, 30-day challenge, 90-day challenges that we all get involved in, that's great. But the ultimate challenge is the 1-year challenge.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's new year, new you. So the new year isn't just 2 months.
It's a follow through.
It's a whole year. Yes. 2021 is new all year.
I'm gonna jump into that next season, and then summertime, and then there's always gonna be something. There's always gonna be a holiday. There's gonna be a birthday. There's gonna be an event. There's gonna be traveling. There's gonna be stuff involved. So you need to learn how to deal with those things. And so you have to kind of see where you're at, see what kind of changes that you can consistently do over time, over the next 365 days, that are going to maintain your progress and keep you motivated, and setting those goals, those realistic style of goals. You know, where am I at right now? I'm working out 4 or 5 days. Is this sustainable for my lifestyle? Or am I right now like barely making it? Because if that's the case, that's all right. You just need to step back a little bit. You haven't failed until you've given up.
Facts.
You know, once you give up, that's it. But you know what? Sometimes you have to give up on something because it's just not working.
Yeah, if it's not working for you,
it's just not working for you, and you got to backtrack.
I wouldn't say that's giving up. That's restructuring.
Right.
You mean?
Right. Sometimes you got to you may have to, and more so like giving up on whatever that particular thing is. And the only example I can give is like running a race for myself. Like, let's just say a marathon that I've ran, and I may give up towards the end, 24 miles. I may stop, you know, and I'm walking now at this point, you know, and I'm walking. And granted, I haven't given up on finishing the race because I'm going to freaking finish it no matter what. But I've given up on the fact that, you know what, I'm not going to meet that 4-hour mark. Right. But I'm not going to just be like, bye, like, where's my cart to come carry me away, you know? I'm still going to finish. And that's kind of like the same thing. Like, I may just give up on this 5, 6, 7 day a week workout plan, but I'm not going to give up on working out. Right. I'm just going to, you know, kind of restructure, take it back a little bit, and figure out what works best for me. Yeah. You know, reset. Because
I think like having laser focus is good to a certain extent, but when your laser focus prevents you or promotes you to be rigid in your goals, which it can be good, but like if it prevents you from being able to pivot when it's necessary and you risk injury, like that's when the laser focus needs to ease up a little bit, you know, because I didn't think when I first started coming here, I was like, okay, I'm going to go every other day. And I was consistent, you know, it was like, okay, I'm going to go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. You know, I was like, even you caught on to me, like, okay, so, you're not going to be here until next week. Like, yeah, right. All right. So, and then I didn't think that I could come 7 days a week. Yeah. And then like, here we are a year later and I'm like, I gotta go. Like I have to go to the gym.
I'm here. Like
Right.
this is part of my life. Like this is what I'm doing.
And I remember having that conversation with you. Like, do you think it's healthy for me to go 7 days a week? You know, I was like, I don't want to get burnt out or risk injury. And I've had a lot of people tell me,
Oh yeah,
a lot of people that tend to sit on the couch more often than I
Yeah.
do. But they're like, you don't you're gonna hurt yourself. Don't forget to take days off and whatnot. And I have, but I can't forget your advice. Your advice was like, listen to your body.
right.
Like your body will tell you if what you're doing is working or not.
100%.
And I couldn't be
Always.
happier with that advice. Like, okay, if I need to take a day off, I know I have the option to.
Correct.
But like I'm still gonna get those rings closed on my watch. Like
Right? Amen.
I have to. I'm on a 40-something day hot streak right now.
Yeah,
so.
and I think everybody and every body is different. And I think you could testify for it also because just because you're an athlete in this super fit shape body form doesn't mean that you should be doing 7-day double workouts and never rest. You know what I mean? Just like on the flip side, somebody that maybe is overweight, has weight to lose, they may feel comfortable doing 7 days, doing their walks, doing their exercises, and their body feels good. You know, so it just depends on the person. Like everybody is so different, but listening to your body is the biggest thing, obviously. And sometimes, and I'm not, and I think everybody knows, I'm not one to rest ever.
Right.
Like I just keep going and going and going and going and going
Right.
until God strikes me and says, "That's it."
Right.
And seriously,
I need that battery pack, madam. You need to chill. Sit down.
Seriously, it is like got to take me down with like a sore throat or just not feeling my best to
Right.
take a couple days off.
Right.
And that's just what happens. But at the same time, like I don't run myself to the ground where I'm like I'm hurting.
Right.
You know, I'm not hurting. My body's not hurting, which is why I keep going. I keep going. But I also condition my body, and I also know that I can't be running, you know, a 5K every day.
Right.
I'm just not going to be able to keep up. So I walk or I bike or I do something else in order to keep going.
So I personally think that we reinforce everything that we've learned in this New Year, New You challenge later on in the year. I don't know if that's something you thought about or something that you think could work. I know it's got to be a lot on you because it's
Wait
already a lot on me.
Are we talking about another challenge?
Yes, yes, madam. That's correct. I already know calculating or counting for my own macros has got to be tough, but you out here doing 30 plus people.
Plus my own.
Plus your own.
Plus Jason's.
I didn't want to say it, but yes, plus Jason's. Like, I was talking to him today. I was like, he was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to win this challenge. I was like, I probably would too if I lived with Sandy. And he was like, I lived with Sandy last year and I didn't win. I was like, you weren't committed.
Right? I'm telling you, this year, 2021, everybody had all of 2020 to prepare for this year because this year you guys are rocking it. You guys are like, I give thanks every day. And I tell Jason every day how thankful that I am that you guys are so committed, regardless of whether people are checking in every day, commenting, sharing their little food pics and stuff like that. Because I have a little, a connection outside of all of that and trying to follow up with people and see where people are at. But also, those weigh-ins don't lie. Those and I see it. I see what people are doing and I see how they're doing things. But it's crazy to see the changes, and I don't know what it is, and maybe it is what we've all gone through last year. And maybe we've all have a different outlook of the quality of life that we're all living. Right. And I think that's a reality check for everybody. Yeah. And the fact that we can give a little bit more focus to our health and things like that. But yeah, this year, even for myself, like I'm tracking my macros more. I'm tracking Jason's macros more. We got like papers on the wall of everybody's macros and meals and the scales at the table for dinner. Right. The kids are tracking macros.
You even got the hamster out here weighing his food.
Listen, he's looking a little chubby these days.
He's going to have the best transformation
He's
pic.
so cute.
Gus. I'm going to call him Gus.
Seriously, he's so cute. And the cats are after him now. The cats see him and they're like, oh.
Yeah. Oh, he's a little tasty little snack over there.
You look a little better in 2021. Yeah, but Yeah, it's a good thing, and we are discussing and talking about a second go around of that challenge. I think I'm just gonna drop it and be like, everybody that was in that challenge needs to come weigh in. I want to see where you're at.
Right.
I want to see where you are at.
How much backtracking did you do? Right.
I want to see where you're at 4-6 months later, and hoping that everybody stays on track, because we do. It's highs and lows. Yeah. Everybody goes through this, so it's not just no one's immune to it. I'm not immune to it. You're not immune to it. Nobody, there are plenty of highs and lows in life, because we have to transition in between things that happen.
Right.
Lots of things happen and lots of things take place. But we have to try and stay focused and fall on the things that we've learned.
Right.
And again, I always fall back on being mindful. Just be mindful. I'm not going to tell you that you need to deprive yourself of foods, because really no food is off limits as long as you respect the food and you understand what food does for your body. Because I'm sorry, but Oreos do not work the same way.
But they're vegan,
right? When we went vegan and we found out Oreos were vegan, I was like, really?
Right. So
wow.
I can do a whole line of Oreos and be okay.
Right? And there's some really good vegan donuts and cakes. And wow, this is yummy. This is great. But being mindful and understanding
we
that
still have 5 days left of this challenge. I'm gonna need you to stop talking like that.
I know. And we have to remind ourselves that it's food. Not all food is created equally. Right. You have to be mindful and know that, you know what, if I'm gonna go out to eat, I'm gonna have burger and fries. I need to understand that fries are a carb. If they're fried, it's even worse. Right. If they're baked, okay, I could deal with that. But fries plus the bun plus the appetizer, all that stuff adds up. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as you've already pre-planned for your day. Right. And I think that's what we've taught people also. Those that have gone
for sure.
that have gone out to eat or traveled or have events and things like that. You don't need to avoid events. You just need to understand that being able to know, like, this is what I should be eating in a day. I need to kind of, organize my life and plan my day out so that I can enjoy whatever it is. Right. And that's what it comes down to.
Yeah. I mean, but that also being able to plan also comes with saving money. Because, working where I work, I would blow $15-$20 a day just in food.
Yeah, easy.
That's
on the light side too.
Yeah, right. That's on that's on
the snacks.
Yeah, right. That's at the vending machine.
Because if you're buying meals nowadays, a meal. I mean, you can't even I remember going to Whole Foods and trying to get some healthy food there, and I go to weigh it and I'm like, $20 for some lettuce.
Right. I'm just going to put this in my pocket. I
know. Wow.
Out of sight, out of mind, out of pocket.
It's expensive. Jason and I were talking about that because we have been weighing our food and things like that. And I remember I always try to cook healthy. That's just the lifestyle that we live, and that's how I live. So I'd cook a meal and I'm like, great, this is awesome. This is 2 pounds of chicken. We're gonna have leftovers for tomorrow. And by the time we're done eating, I'm like, the hell did the food go? Because yes, 2 plates, even for myself, sometimes you don't, because you're not necessarily being mindful, because you see it as chicken, you see it as broccoli, rice, healthy food. And it is. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just let me just keep eating. Keep eating.
I'm hungry.
Yeah. Let me keep eating. And the next thing you know, that $40, $50, $60 meal is no longer 2 days, 3 days. It's now 1 day. Right. So you're spending more money. Right. So yeah, you're saving money when you're a little bit more mindful and measuring your food and understanding what portion sizes are for you. Yeah. For your body.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the biggest challenge for me, because I would meal prep for the week. So I would make my lunches and my dinners for the week, and then I would have my 2 days off, where it was a lot more lax in the sense that I could eat still within my macros, but not anything specific. It was I could have fun and but it tends to get a little boring. So now my next goal is to structure where I'm okay, let me do at least 2 meals for the week, so that way, or 2 different meals for my week. So instead of having 5 of the same lunches and 5 of the same dinner for the week, now I can do 2 different lunches and 2 different dinners, and then another 3 and 3. Just to kind of mix it up so that it's not
boring.
I'm eating right. You know what I mean? Because I like to eat, and I can do it. You know what I mean? I don't mind it, but it's it's not a surprise. I get to lunch and I open my lunchbox and I was like, day 4. I got 1 more day after this. I got this.
Yeah. How much more do I have to eat this ground turkey and freaking green beans?
Okay, listen. If y'all don't know, cauliflower rice He's absolutely gross.
Listen, we're going to have a tasting podcast. I'll bring you some real cauliflower rice.
Please do, because I just threw it in the microwave and then threw it on my plate after I waited. Yeah, no,
Jason will tell you how he feels about cauliflower rice. That shit is nasty.
It is.
Unless you've already built your palates around eating some bland ass food.
Yeah, no.
You know, because I could eat the same food every day. Granted, yes, I do think about that cheeseburger or that pizza at the end of the week, which I know some people are thinking about right now.
Oh
at the end of this challenge, after that weigh-in, it's like, what are we gonna eat tonight?
It's the weigh-in, the workout, and then the buffet.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people are thinking about that. But again, it all comes down to, and I hope that it is one of those things that we've learned and that we've worked hard enough to realize that, you know what, when I order that pizza, I'm gonna be a little bit more mindful and maybe throw some veggies on my plate or a salad or something to balance it out. And to know that, you know what, when that pizza is done, that's it. It's not like a rollover to the next day. Like, let me pack that as my meal prep. No, it doesn't work like that.
Damn it, she's on to me.
Yeah. So hopefully we're thinking about that. But yeah, it's definitely, you know, once you get into it, now that you're meal prepping and you're doing those things and understanding a little bit more about, like, okay, these are my lean meat options, these are my better veggie options, these are my better carb options. Now getting a little creative so it doesn't get so boring. Because as the time goes by, it's boring. Yeah. You got to get a little bit more creative, especially with that cauliflower rice.
Yeah, I need help.
You got to add some stuff. What I do, my little secret, don't tell anybody.
Okay, we're gonna have to cut the podcast off now. Just write it down and shit it to me. I don't want everybody to know. No, go ahead, tell me.
Right? To break into it, you do a 50-50 rice cauliflower mix blend. That's what you do. To break into the flavor of it.
Yeah, because it honestly was like, okay, this is cauliflower that somebody else chewed for me, and I'm eating it. It was gross.
Because it could be kind of, you know, the other little tip that I do is you saute it really, really good so that it kind of gets like a little bit crispy. Of a crispy, you know, way to it. Add a little bit of spices to it. But the biggest thing that I've done, like for my family also, because my kids are not too keen on the whole cauliflower rice either, is I do a 50-50 mix. So I'll do like regular rice, brown rice, and then I'll throw the same amount together, and that way you get a nice healthy carb. You also get your veggie in there, so you mix them together, and then you can season it up a little bit or add, you know, whatever meat and sauces that you're doing.
Yeah, I couldn't get over that taste. I tried to season it with a little of the taco seasoning, and I was like, this is taco seasoning and cauliflower rice. It's still
not
gross.
Working.
But if you guys love cauliflower rice, like, I am not knocking you. I just don't share that same taste bud. Like, I don't have that. I'm missing that gene.
You and Jason are on the same side because he does not like it. He does not like it. I think he forced himself a couple times during this challenge when I made it, because I was like, ooh, I know I got him committed. I'm going to give him some cauliflower rice.
He was like...
Again? We're having this for dinner again?
You are so lucky I love you.
I don't know if you love me during this challenge. Yeah.
So we've got the motivational tips, you know, how to keep this momentum going forward after the New Year, New You challenge.
Yeah.
I think that
some tips maybe, like to staying on track, just in general. Just some other, you know, like basic tips. One of the biggest thing is moving your body, you know, every day. Obviously, regardless of whether you're doing it, you know, at a gym or you're walking outside or you're biking or whatever the case may be, definitely moving, like getting up and moving. Because I think once you start moving, you're a little bit more mindful and a little bit more cautious of, you know, of what you eat and what you put in your mouth and things like that. So, you know, you kind of are a little bit more, I guess, motivated, like to stay on track. Doing things outdoors also is a big thing instead of just staying inside all the time. I think a lot of us are, especially given the past year, a lot of us are inside all the time, right? And now that we're, you know, maybe venturing outside, doing something a little bit different, whether it's an outdoor workout or, again, walking, biking, you know, those types of things. Meal plan, meal prep. I think you're one definitely to say that when you have the food plan and when you have...
So much easier.
It's easier to just grab and go. Like it's less stress. Even just knowing that, hey, you know, I'm gonna have my lunches prepared. The only thing I got to worry about is dinner,
right?
And breakfast.
Breakfast, right?
I think that makes a huge difference. Thinking more of moderation, having your portions and knowing how much you're supposed to eat versus depriving yourself, like we mentioned. If you want that burger, fine.
Have that burger.
Have the burger, but know that you need to be eating it in the right portions. I'm sorry, you can't go.
Don't wait till dinner to decide you're gonna try and have that burger either, because like you were like, oh, I am way over on my macros. Like,
yeah, right. Plan it in advance. If you want to go to a burger place, fine, do it. Go ahead and do it, but plan it in advance. Resting. That's another big one. Making sure you're resting. That's my challenge.
I don't get as much rest as I need.
I think everybody does. And I mean, everybody, is always, they want more rest, but they're just not doing it. They're not sleeping. They're not getting enough rest because, believe it or not, that is when your body is recovering.
Repairing it.
Yeah, recovering and really, just preparing yourself for the next day. And the last thing is drinking your water. Making sure you guys are drinking your water.
Chug.
Right?
Cheers.
Whatever's in this, if we don't know, it's for me to know. Nobody else.
This for sure is drinking water. Like, I don't know. She might have a little vodka in her.
And caffeine. And then we should talk about we should do a whole episode on
Sandy's coffee.
Sandy's meals, like how I prepare the meals. We should do a kitchen one.
I'm down.
Right?
I'm down. Would you guys be interested in that? I think they would.
Right?
I
we
were talking
episode.
about this. But what do you need in order to start cooking? You need ingredients.
Yeah. Food.
I kind of want to go shopping with Sandy.
Right?
I don't know. Maybe that could be a thing later on in the future, shopping with Sandy.
That could be a lot of fun.
That would be fun.
That would be fun because that's...
The first episode might be a little depressing when you realize, like, what do you mean I can't buy that? Like, I buy it all the time. I gotta
look at this. Right. What do you mean I can't have this dressing? Why not? Why can't I have that? Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. A lot that goes into, everything. But I think, once you get into your routine and once you understand things, it's easy. Just like everything else. Brushing your teeth, taking a shower, those are things you just do for the most part.
Most of the time.
Right? For the most part. I mean, hopefully. But those things just come with you just know that those are things that you have to do and you have to invest in. And you have to take the time to do it. You will never regret investing in your health and your wellness ever. And don't wait till you're sick to do it either.
Facts.
Because unfortunately, that's what a lot of time is the trigger for a lot of people. Waiting till they're sick or they get that blood work done and then it's like, oh shit, I got high cholesterol or I got high blood pressure. Yeah.
Oh, I'm diabetic now? Oof.
Wait a minute.
Right.
What do you mean? So yeah. Make sure you take the time to invest in you. Because you are your biggest masterpiece.
Facts.
Right?
I love that. You are your biggest masterpiece. I'm more of a disaster piece, but it's cool. Like, we gonna roll with it.
You are a masterpiece. Look at you now, compared to 6 months ago.
Yeah, I was a mess.
Look at you now.
Mess. Yeah.
Yeah, major transformation over a short period of time, which is amazing. So give yourself some credit. Masterpiece.
All right, Coach. I think that'll do it. So you wonderful people out there, stay beautiful, stay fit.
Stay safe.
And stay safe. We love y'all. We'll see y'all later. Take care.